Hey friends, Tarithal here. I'm getting a lot of questions about the new Evoker build that everyone's running on Raider.io. So I'm just going to put a couple different variants of it on my screen here for a second, but I just went ahead and pulled these off of Raider.io. And I think coming into this expansion, everyone was kind of thinking Scalecommander was going to be the good tree. And, you know, being an odd guy, I get a lot of questions on exactly what's going on here and why this is good. And so in this video, I just kind of want to break this down for you real quick. And so the primary reason why people are running this new Scalecommander tree is because this talent here, Overlord, is bugged. And if you've been following along since beta, this has kind of been a known issue with the class tree that we kind of assumed was going to get fixed. And before I really go into this, I'm going to kind of break down exactly what Scalecommander is doing. And then I'll tell you exactly why this is bugged and what's happening. So yeah, before I do anything else, let me just show you. So the primary mechanic of Scalecommander is that when you use your empowered spells, so whether that be Fire Breath or Upheaval here, you can see I get this buff here called Mass Eruption. And it stacks up to 2 times. And then when I use these Mass Eruptions with Eruptions, when I target something and hit something with Eruption, it gets like this V-shaped debuff called Bombardment. And so the primary mechanic of Scalecommander is that, you know, you're trying to get these bombardments on your targets, and then when you apply bombardment to a target, like a dragon flies over and bombs all the mobs in the area and does a pretty good AoE. And also you get reduced Eon's duration. So your Eon's cooldown, you know, it's typically around 2 minutes, minute and a half or so. And then every time something gets bombarded, this gets reduced. And so that's kind of the primary gameplay of Scalecommander. And so what exactly is going on here with this new build, and why are people running it? So this talent here, Overlord, if you read the text here, what is supposed to happen is when you use your Breath of Eons, it's supposed to cast a normal eruption at the first 3 enemies struck. So the thing that's been bugged since beta is that if you have a Mass Eruption queued up, so if I were to do Ebon Might and then Fire Breath, for example, so if I have this Mass Eruption queued up and then I do a Breath of Eons through the targets here, just like this, so what's happening is that all 3 eruptions that I just cast are actually Mass Eruptions. And so each individual eruption is hitting 3 times. And so we've known about that since beta, and we kind of assumed it was going to get fixed, which is why it wasn't really recommended at the beginning. But that alone makes this a pretty strong build. It makes your eruption damage quite high throughout a key. So that's part 1 of the bug. So what we've figured out since then, and I kind of need to wait for my eruption or my Breath of Eons to come back off cooldown, but there's a travel time between when Eons is sent versus when the eruptions actually hit the target. And if you're able to cancel your Eons over the pack before your eruptions hit the targets, it'll actually apply bombardments to the targets without you having to do those manual eruptions. And so what that means is that if you can cancel your Eons with a Mass Eruption queued up, you have the potential to put bombardments on 3 separate targets in the pack. On top of that, if you have your two Mass Eruptions queued up before you send Eons, you can find 2 additional mobs that don't have your bombardments on them. And then you can apply, you know, you can eruption those 2 individual targets. So you can have a max of 5 separate bombardments targets out at a time, all doing massive damage and all reducing your Breath of Eons, you know, every single time they hit. And so part 2 of the build is this here, this extended battle. So if you're able to get your bombardments on up to 5 targets, and then you're spamming eruption, you can just kind of keep bombardments on basically, you know, multiple things at a time that you're not really supposed to. So let me wait for my Breath of Eons to come off cooldown. Should almost be done. I feel bad for this monk. I'm just sitting here putting Ebon Might on him every time he's trying to do his rotation, but okay, so pay attention here. So I'm going to hit this. I'm going to queue up a Mass Eruption. I'm just going to do 2 of them, so I have 2 stacks here. I'm going to try to cancel my Breath of Eons over the targets, and hopefully I do it right. Yeah, see? So I only did 1 there, but you can see I didn't cast a manual eruption, and I did apply 1 bombardment to the target. So maybe I'll try to get another like B footage of me doing this a couple different times, and so you don't have to just wait for me to get this off cooldown. But in theory, you can do this on up to like 5 targets at a time. And then when you spam your eruption, it just extends the duration of those bombardments. And so, if you have 5 bombardments out at a time and people are hitting them and you're getting cooldown reduction, you're basically able to get eons back down to like a 30-second, cooldown or so. So, anyways, yep, that's like the TLDR of what is exactly happening with the build. It's kind of a bug within a bug, and being here in town and just hitting these dummies, it's pretty easy to kind of cancel eons over them and get the bombardments at multiple targets. In practicality in a real key, things are spread out and, not everything is stacked up nicely. But if you do get in a situation where things are stacked up nicely and you cancel your eons over them, you are able to get, multiple of these bombardments out at a time. And even in a single target, if you do the bug and you're able to cancel eons over a single target, you could still get like, a 4 or 5 second bombardment on it, and then you use your natural mass eruptions to extend the duration and pandemic that window to make it even longer. So, even in a single target situation, it's still a pretty good bug to take advantage of. But, I guess I'll leave it up to you whether you think people should be using this or not. The way I'm thinking about it right now is it's very much like Windwalker in the past that just, kind of has bugs built into it, or even like recently Arcane Mage double dipping on some of its spell queuing to take advantage of more damage. I don't know. It kind of just feels like something that the class just has built into it right now, and if you're not taking advantage of it, then you're probably just not playing the class optimally. But anyways, yeah, that's what's going on. Let me see if I can get another footage. I don't want to screw up this guy too much. Let me fly up here. So let me see if I can get bombardments on all of these at the same time. We'll do this, we'll do this. Bang. So there's 1, 2, and 3. So see, I got on all 3 on these. And then if I wanted to, I could extend. Bang. Bang. And I'll just keep spamming eruption so you can see that the timer's just going up and up and up. So anyways, if you had a question on exactly what's happening in the build and why people are running it, that's why. There you go. Enjoy. I will try to catch you in the next video.